Hello, welcome guys. So we're live streaming again, and in this video, I'm talking about one-on-one to group coaching or training, and also how do you get straight to leads. And this stems from a conversation that I was having with some of my coaching clients this week. Sometimes you're looking at marketing, especially as an established business owner, it's kind of like you get caught up in this kind of tunnel vision, and you think, here's the path that I'm going down. And unfortunately, and fortunately at the same time, it's as they say, it's the gift and the curse. You become super focused in your approach to doing your marketing, but also in becoming super focused, sometimes you lose sight of the other opportunities that will get you to your end result much quicker. So let me explain first of all, before we get into the details of getting straight to leads. Let's talk about one-on-one and group coaching. So this week we've been promoting my one-on-one to group coaching worksheet. And in the worksheet, it's more like a guide, I guess. It shows you exactly how to go from one-on-one, whether you're a coach, consultant, or a trainer, and how you can adjust your business model and transition to group coaching. And the obvious advantages are you're going to leverage your time. One of the challenges most people get with, thinking about transitioning from one-on-one, it's the obvious question. You think, how are my clients going to get the same type of results when they get me one-on-one? Will they get the same type of results or inferior? The other challenges that a lot of people talk about, especially when it comes to transitioning, is, how will my clients feel if they get less of me or they have to share me with other clients, right? And I say this with a lot of experience of clients giving me this as their feedback, and also their questions as to whether or not it is possible to transition from one-on-one to group coaching, training, or consulting, whatever type of service-based business you offer. And the one thing I'd say to you is that a lot of the times when we start out in business, and this can really extend into years of running your businesses, we set out with the intention to get the best results possible. And usually when you get started, the best results is how to deliver one-on-one, right? Because usually that's where the majority of us lie. We know how to help one person move from one place to the other. And when we're supporting them, it's effectively holding their hands, when you're starting out, for sure. We're able to influence the outcome of that person. And then we start to look at, well, how can I get more leverage? Because now what can happen is you start maxing out your time. You're doing a lot of one-on-one work. And if you're doing weekly calls, or even, every other week, every 2 weeks, it can take a toll on your cash. So and I can think of one particular example with one client who she offers 60-minute sessions with her one-on-one coaching clients, but generally they're 90 minutes. And on top of that, she's also doing additional feedback, email communication, email support, WhatsApp messages. And before you know it, it goes from being a one-on-one coaching / training delivery service to actually it's consuming my life. And when you've got, like, let's say 15 clients, 10 to 15, it has a heavy impact on your weekly time, right? Meaning it can push into your evenings, your mornings, your weekends. It can impinge on family time and all these things that actually we've got into the business so that we can create the lifestyle that we want to, live. But the other challenge of all of this is we start, like, going through the thoughts of, well, the kind of hustle mentality, I've got to put the time into my business to get it going. But what happens when you keep putting the time into your business to get it going and get it moving and get it, get that momentum in the business? And it starts to be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And before you know it, like, you've been in business like 5 years and you still got this approach where you're chasing your tail, you're chasing. So one of the worksheets, as I said, that we gave away this week, and it comes with an 18-minute video, it's approximately 18 minutes or so, where I talk you through how to transition from one-on-one to group coaching. And you can do it like a hybrid approach as well. So I'm giving you the very short version, guys. If you want a copy of the free PDF and the walkthrough video, just comment below this video with the word group, and I'll know you want the PDF and the walkthrough video. The point I want to get to is, if you're transitioning, the one thing I'd say to you is you're transitioning because you have a vision for how you want your life to run. You have a vision for how you want your business to run. And what I can tell you, based on all the experience that I have myself running group programs and doing one-on-one, doing done with you services and all this kind of stuff, going right back to my marketing agency, is that it's up to you to call the rules of the game. Your clients, when they become clients, they see what you put together. They don't look at your offers or your programs or the way that you run things and say, hey, I know it's a group program, but I want you one-on-one, and that's the only way that I'm going to work. I'm not going to pay you any more because I want you one-on-one. It doesn't work like that. You set the rules of the game as the business owner, right? So when people come in and buy access to your programs, you allow them in because they're a fit for you and for your business, your culture, and your values. They come into your world, right? And the one challenge that I had when I guess when I was transitioning from employed to being self-employed was I came from this 9 to 5 mentality where it was almost like bend over backwards, but I was bending over backwards for the company that I worked for, right? And it was a really cool company at the time, public sector, University of Wolverhampton. But the point that I'm getting to is that when you run your business, it's about your rules of the game and making sure, and here's the caveat, making sure that you deliver on the outcome that you say you're going to deliver on. And, this also gets some people where they get a bit triggered because they're like, how can you ensure everybody gets the same result? Well, you just simply have rules of the game that as long as people are taking action, committing, and doing the things that they need to do with the frequency that you've set within the program, whether it's homework or different things they've got to do and take action on, that's on them, right? We're coaches, we're consultants, we're trainers, we're not hand holders, right? We can, do our best to help people and support people with different circumstances that arise. But ultimately, the onus is on them. Ownership, accountability, responsibility, right? 3 big things that, for me, as the way that I approach my life and I expect my clients to approach their own life and business, we've got to take on board, right? The more that we have that, the more likely is that we're going to achieve the things that we want. So here's the thing that I want to add to that, with making sure that your clients do get, great results when you're transitioning from one-on-one to group coaching. Run it hybrid, right? So what that means is maybe one week you do one-on-one and the second week you do group, right? But here's the angle. And as I said, the free walkthrough video that I give away, and if you want it, just comment group below this video right now, and me and my team will reach out to you. The thing that I want to share with you is when you're transitioning and you're doing one-on-one calls, let's say for 1 week, and you're doing group calls for the second week, you have to sell it with the benefit and be clear that when you're selling groups, explain that more minds, the group think, the group approach to solving whatever their problem is better than one. And what I've found, especially when I do group coaching calls, is that other members chip in, or they'll say, hey, Leon, can I add to what you've suggested to the client? And this is the thing that if you've only ever delivered one-on-one, you'll never experience what it's like to have, really cool clients who become your community, who also want to support the people on those group calls, right? So that's my short version. But like I said, if you want the walkthrough video, full detailed process, the 4-step process of how to transition from one-on-one to group, just comment below this video with the word groups. Now, here's the second thing that I wanted to get into, what I mentioned today, which is getting. So we've just spoken about transitioning from one-on-one to group. How do we get straight to our leads? Now, the other part of obviously your business with your business model is marketing. Lead generation for me, it's one of the biggest things that I've focused on, especially in Business Owner Elevation, which is my company. From writing this book, More Leads, More Clients, like generating leads is the thing that I'm pretty much obsessed with, knowing how to, simplifying the process, training other, people upon it, clients and so on, and getting amazing results. But what if you've gone down as many routes as you think are possible to get leads, but it's still not working? I want to give you one walkthrough, very quick walkthrough that I shared with a client. What day are we on? Yesterday. So I shared this with the client yesterday, just to kind of open their mind. And I want to share the same thing with you. So if you're looking at generating leads, what you got to look at is your niche, right? Where do they hang out? And where they hang out is one of the big factors as to whether or not your marketing is going to be successful. The other factor is your message, right? So if we know who we're marketing to, we know where they hang out, the onus is on those 2 things. It's your message, right? And the source of traffic, where they hang out. But what if you've only transfixed yourself into one place, one source? Meaning, let's say you've chosen Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever platform, right? Or maybe you do offline networking. You go to breakfast meetings or business networking events, that kind of stuff. But here's the thing that I want to share with you. If you've chosen 1 or 2 particular channels, right, and you're effective, you show it daily or you show it weekly and you've got clear content going out, and you've got to the point where you're not getting the engagement, you're not attracting in the hands raised, you're not building that audience of people who are truly interested in what you have, right? And the thing that I haven't mentioned is obviously your offers. Your offers are super important, but people only get to your offers once, they've come across your message. But I want to share my screen, so just give me a second. Right, so there we are. I'm just going to hop on over to, let me just close that. That's not what I want. This is what I want. So in this particular example, I'm just going to walk you through very quickly. And if you've got any questions, guys, remember, just add them in the comments and I'll come back to your questions and specifics. So I've taken the liberty of coming up with an example. So imagine you're a business coach and you were targeting business owners. How would you find where business owners hang out? Well, one of the obvious places that a lot of people kind of overlook, and I'm just going to jump into, let me just close these things down. I talk regularly to clients and different people about going into groups, right? And you've got groups on Facebook. So you've got Facebook groups. You've also got groups on LinkedIn. So all I've done is a search on Facebook. I've typed in the top in the search, I put business. I'm going to put business UK just to get a bit more specific. And then on the left-hand side, I'm going to go down and filter to groups, right? But I'm going to take you beyond just groups. So if you think, oh, I know this, I've got another step I want to share with you, and we're going to move on to Google for this. So one of the first things that you want to look at is, where do your audience, where do your niche hang out? So groups are a fantastic place. So if you search on groups on Facebook, on LinkedIn, you will see that there are many groups usually that contain the people that you want to target with your message. So you can see here, Business UK, there's 2.3 thousand members. Small Business UK, we've got 12,000 members. If I go down, Black in Business UK, 4.2 thousand. If you're in that niche, you're targeting, Black ethnicity. Free Business Advertising UK, 48,000 members, and so on and so forth. So if I keep going down, you'll see lots of different business related groups. UK small businesses, 37,000. So the first thing that I want to get to is that if you're only posting on your profile and you've built up an audience, but you want to reach more, look at groups. But what if you've looked at groups on Facebook and you're thinking, well, I've kind of maximized, the groups and the reach that you can get to? The one thing I would say to you is, what about Google? Now, here's the other thing. Depending on who you're targeting, are there different associations that your niche are associated with, or they like to be affiliated with? So for example, if you're a business in the UK, maybe the type of business you're targeting is a member of things like, the largest UK membership bodies, right? Where you can find this information out. Federation of Small Businesses, Small Business UK, British Chamber of Commerce, right? And bear with me, because I'm going to explain how you can use all of this information. Business Services Association, and so on and so forth. So these are just associations. If you were a business coach right now targeting businesses, if you're a life coach, you might do the same thing. You might put life coaching associations or life coaching, yada, yada, yada. So we look at the other one, Business Excellence Awards, right? Lloyd's Bank British Business Excellence Awards, British Excellence Awards, BB Excellence Awards, so on and so forth, right? All of this is on Google. I'm going to go into another tab that I've prepared, business networking events. Just type this into Google and look, here are events that have popped up near me: Birmingham, London, Birmingham in the UK. Midlands Business Network, Eventbrite, so on and so forth. And then we go to another tab, and I've just put in here UK Business Forums. And I'm going to give you the conclusion of why I'm showing you all these different approaches to where, if I was targeting business owners, I could find them outside of social media. So we got UK Business Forums and so on and so forth. If I keep going down, even Facebook pages show up with forums, UK Business Forums on YouTube, London Business Forum, so on and so forth. So here's the thing that I want to get to. So I'm going to switch back to, and I'm going to stop sharing. So here it is. If you're targeting social media and your content isn't working, perhaps you've got to find the locations of where your niche are actually hanging out. Show up in groups. Make sure your comment is posted in groups where the groups allow. Answer people's questions. And one of the big things that I really talk to my clients about is have a Google document with 10 specific responses to the common problems you see your niche talking about in forums or groups. Have something like 150 words response ready. So when people post in groups or post in forums, you've already got a response ready to help them out, right? It allows you to show up. The other thing is these associations, these networking events, these people might actually become your strategic partners. Because if they're already serving your niche in the hundreds or the thousands, well, what if they could put you in on an advertorial? What if they could do a special live interview or a video recorded interview where you give value, or they're putting you in front of their memberships? Some of these things might require you to pay a membership fee. But here's the thing that I want you to look at, guys. That membership fee might just actually be part of your marketing budget, right? But now you're getting in front of hundreds and thousands of people. So the point I want to get to is, while social media and all of that is really great, maybe you have to do some marketing offline. Maybe you've got to do some visits to where your niche hang out, depending on your niche, right? But it's totally up to you. But the thing that I wanted to share most of all is, when you're looking at lead generation, don't just think I'm going on these platforms, I'm going to find my niche. You've got to be really clear that when you do show up with your message, and as you develop the right message over time and you attract people in, you've got to be really clear that these people are actually hanging out in the places that you are. Because I see a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs who say, oh, I'll never go onto this platform. I don't like that platform. I'm like, who cares? Wherever my niche are, that's where I show up. That's my approach, right? Because my niche are waiting for me to show up. They're not waiting for me to say, hey, here's where I am, come on over here. So I hope you can take that on board. So whatever you find and research about your niche, maybe you've got to look in different places, not so common places. But once you stumble across the right associations, joint venture partners, people who can refer you, I promise you, you're going to take your lead generation to the next level, because you're going outside of what your competitors are doing, who are probably lazy, right? And they're probably not looking in all these different places trying to figure out, how can I get leads? How can I build partners? How can I drive so much leads into my business that I'm just overflowing with leads, more clients, right? So I hope you guys can take that on board. So that ends my quick summary of how you can transition from one-on-one to group coaching. Remember, if you want the free PDF guide and the walkthrough video, just comment groups below this video. And I hope you've taken on board just that idea of how we can look outside of social media to continue to find our niche and generate even more qualified leads. If you enjoyed the video, remember, give me a thumbs up and a like on this video. And if you got any specific questions, comment below this video. And until the next time, I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.